Hi, my name is Cynthia, and I'm here today to give you my top 10 tips. Divorce after you file. Sorry, I dropped my paper. First tip, make a budget for one. You have to learn how to live on your own. Granted, you might get some spousal support somewhere down the road from your spouse, but you can't depend on that forever, and you can't depend on that person actually making those payments. So right now, make a budget so you can live on your own. If the spouse pays you some extra money, great, put it in a savings account because you might need it down the road. But right now, if you can live on your own income. Next, are you living with your spouse because you can't kick the other guy out or woman out of your house or apartment? If you can, get out of that situation as soon as possible. Now, if the court will not kick them out, maybe you need to get out. But you might have a problem in the fact that your name is on the lease or on the house, and you're afraid that your spouse might not make payments. Well, your attorney should have taken care of that to make sure that somebody's going to be making the payment. If you're not going to be living in there, your attorney should go to court and try and have the court say that you're not responsible for the house payment. Now, if your name's on the mortgage or the rent, the other spouse might not be able to make the payment, so they might need some income from you. I don't know how that's going to work out. But if you can, get out of that situation. Next tip, if there's domestic violence involved, you definitely have to get out of that place or have that person kicked out. Now, your attorney should make arrangements to have a motion to have that person kicked out for domestic violence reasons. So you should be living in that place alone. But if you cannot afford to make that payment, then your attorney's going to have to make arrangements with the court to try to get some money coming into you to make those payments. Either way, if you can't afford to live there on your own, you need to start looking somewhere else and trying to get out of that lease or maybe selling that property down the road. So I don't know what your attorney's going to do for you, but this is definitely something you need to talk to your lawyer about. Next thing, try not to go to bars drinking. You don't want to have that come up and hit you in the face in court. So stay away from the bars if you can avoid it. It's only going to be for, I don't know, if you have kids, you definitely shouldn't be doing it if you got kids. But if you don't have kids, you should be out of that divorce situation soon. And then you can do whatever you want after your divorce. But right now, stay out of the bars. Next tip, don't talk to your friends about what's going on at home. You might have shared friends, and that friend will go and talk to him or her about what's going on. So stay away from talking about things to your friends. Now, if you have a very good girlfriend or boyfriend that you can talk to and you know you're safe, maybe talk to them about situations. But again, I've had situations where someone thought that somebody was a very good friend and went and told the other party everything about what was going on. So be careful what you say to your friends. Next thing, if you can, do not date during your divorce. And I even suggest don't date for a year after your divorce, but a lot of people can't stay away from doing that. But do not date during your divorce period if you can avoid it. Your emotions are very low right now. The first person to give you any real attention, you might have strong feelings for that person before you really need to. So do not, if you can, avoid dating. Next tip. If you got a boyfriend already, do not move in with that boyfriend and do not have the boyfriend move in with you. You don't need to have the court know about that situation. Now, you might need to have that person move in to help make a house payment or rent payment. I don't know what your situation is. But for the same reason I just said, your emotions are low. You might start having even stronger feelings for that boyfriend because of what you're going through. And maybe you need that extra somebody to lean on, I understand. But if you can't avoid it, stay away from your boyfriend Don't have him move in with you, and do not move in with him if you can avoid it. Next topic. If you have to buy anything, be careful. Talk to your lawyer about it, because your lawyer might say that your spouse will have an interest in anything you buy during the divorce because you're still married to that person. And I don't know what your law is in where you live, but the law might say they still have an interest. By the way, I'm a retired lawyer, and these are my opinions. They're not legal advice. And I have more than 25 years of experience working in divorce areas, so believe me, I've heard everything. And these are things that were based on past history with me. So beware, if you buy something you might regret, because you might have to share it with them. This goes also, do not buy a house. The worst thing to do is go out and buy a house during the divorce. Again, I don't know what your law is in your state, but many states have laws that if you buy something during the divorce, they have an interest in it. And your lawyer is somebody you definitely have to talk to about that. Again, another tip is buying a car. Same thing. They might have an interest in that car. So be careful what you buy. Sorry about that noise. It's my parrot. Okay, next thing. If you have domestic violence, get out of that shared situation. If you cannot get your spouse out of your house or apartment, you move out. Now, your attorney should be trying to get that spouse out. If you have domestic violence, hopefully he's had a hearing to have that happen. But if you can't get him out, you move out. Get in a halfway house, get somewhere. Get away from that person, because domestic violence is the worst thing. Next topic. You're going to be going through a lot of emotions right now, and I have another video about all the emotions you're going to be going through. But depression is one of the worst. And if you are depressed, which it's going to be pretty hard not to be depressed about going through a divorce, go to counseling. And counseling can be priest, minister, rabbi, but I suggest a professional in that area if you can, because that person has dealt with a lot more situations with depression during the divorce, and hopefully that person can help you. But get out of that domestic violence situation as soon as possible. Now, another thing is, if you can stay away from going to bars right now. I know first thing you want to do is go out and have a drink, but if you can avoid it, maybe do it once in a while, but don't do it on a regular basis. You don't want to have this come up and show you up in court and make it look like to the judge that you were a bad person the whole time you were married. Now, those are some of my tips for you, and I hope they helped you. If they did, give me a thumbs up and come back and visit me. I'm going to have a lot of other topics on divorce and wills and trusts and a lot of other legal matters. So come back and visit me. Again, I'm a retired lawyer. I do not have my license anymore. I'm not giving you legal advice. This is my personal opinion based on 25 years of experience in this area. Come back and visit me. Bye now.